So in Europe, a professional soccer goal is basically worth exactly what a club is willing to pay you to score it, right?
Right, yeah, it's a straight transaction.
But looking at the spring of 2026, Cristiano Ronaldo somehow figured out how to make a single goal worth $100,000 in pure untaxed cash, while, simultaneously building this billion-dollar empire entirely off the pitch.
Yeah, it's an unprecedented blueprint, really.
Yeah.
He's effectively decoupled his financial destiny from the actual biological limits of his own body.
Okay, let's unpack this. Welcome to a brand new deep dive, everyone. It is May 2026, and we are witnessing the twilight of an absolute titan.
Truly the end of an era.
Oh, for sure. And for you listening, we've pulled together this incredible stack of sources today. We've got a recent, pretty massive sports interview regarding his impending retirement.
Which was incredibly revealing, by the way.
Right. And we're also looking at these incredibly granular financial audits of a newly minted billionaire athlete.
Yeah.
Plus, a live goal tracker that was literally updated just days ago on May 7th, 2026.
The scope of the material on the table today is just staggering. But what really connects it all is the architecture of it.
The architecture, right.
Yeah, because we aren't just looking at the sheer volume of wealth or, this mountain of goals. We are looking at the precise, calculated engineering of an empire preparing for its founder to step off the global stage.
Exactly. And our mission today is to explore that intersection, right? That unparalleled athletic longevity meeting unprecedented financial structuring.
It really is a masterclass.
It is. It's a masterclass in how to extract maximum leverage from the final chapters of a career and how you build a legacy that transcends the pitch entirely. But before we can even talk about the billionaire business empire, we really have to look at the engine driving it.
The physical body.
Yes, his physical body and the literal ticking clock on a 25-year career.
Because, let's be honest, that clock is ringing louder than ever right now.
It really is. I mean, the sources outline this absolute bombshell admission from Ronaldo recently. He explicitly stated that he expects to retire, quote, really soon.
Yeah, he's looking at maybe 1 or 2 years left. Tops.
Right. Definitely hanging up the boots before 2030. And he confirmed that the upcoming 2026 World Cup will definitely be his last.
Which, that's a monumental physical milestone on its own.
6 World Cups.
Yeah, that will be his 6th appearance. He's tying a record with his longtime rival, Lionel Messi. And keep in mind, the World Cup only happens every 4 years.
It's a crazy timeline when you think about it.
Right. To simply be on a national roster 6 times requires 20 years of unbroken, elite physical output. He already captured the 2016 European Championship with Portugal, so, he's chasing that ultimate elusive international honor to cap it all off.
But here's what I find so deeply bizarre in the source material. While the clock is winding down, the output is barely slowing.
It really defies logic.
It does. The live goal tracker data we have is just wild. As of May 7, 2026, he is sitting at exactly 971 career official goals.
With his latest being that 75th minute left-footed strike for Al Nassr.
Yes, and I was trying to wrap my head around that number, 971. I mean, if you look at normal elite strikers, a truly great world-class season is what, 20 goals?
Around 20, yeah. That's a phenomenal year.
So doing that for a decade gets you 200. We are talking about averaging close to 50 goals a year for 2 entire decades. It's like a musician writing 971 hit songs.
That's a great way to put it.
Right. It doesn't feel like sports anymore. It feels like industrial manufacturing. So how does a human body physically sustain that level of mechanical output without just shattering?
Well, the short answer is that the body he is using today is not the same body he started with.
Wait, what do you mean by that?
So what we are seeing is the fascinating biomechanics and psychology of an aging athlete adapting in real time. If you look at his early career at Manchester United, he was a flashy, explosive winger.
Oh, yeah, the step-overs and the speed.
Exactly. He relied on 50-yard sprints, complex step-overs, taking on 3 defenders at once. It was highly calorie-intensive, high-impact football.
Which is how guys blow out their knees by the time they're 30, right?
Precisely. Yeah. But as that physical clock started ticking, his raw athleticism transitioned into hyper-efficient, calculated output. He stopped making the 50-yard sprints.
He just completely changed his game.
He did. He studied the geometry of the penalty box. He started relying on spatial awareness, appearing exactly where the ball was going to be like a fraction of a second before the defender even realized it.
Oh.
Yeah, he transformed from a dynamic winger into a pure, energy-conserving, goal-scoring machine.
So he essentially learned how to score the exact same amount of goals while spending half the physical currency.
Yes, and we really have to trace that relentless adaptation back to his beginnings.
The childhood in Madeira, right?
Right. This is a kid who grew up in a working-class environment there, and at 15 years old, needed heart surgery for a racing heart condition.
I always forget about that. That could have ended his career before it even started.
It's exactly. Confronting professional mortality at age 15 forges a very specific, single-minded mentality. The drive toward that mythical 1,000 goal mark isn't just about athletic pride.
It's deeper than that.
Much deeper. It's a profound psychological need to cement an untouchable statistical reality before his biology literally forces him to stop.
And because that physical body has a hard expiration date, his financial strategy had to become just as hyper-efficient as his movements in the penalty box.
The pivot to the business side is just brilliant.
It really is. Which brings us to the actual cash. Let's transition from the physical reality of an aging athlete to the financial mechanism he is using to extract maximum leverage from his final playing days.
The numbers are mind-boggling.
The numbers in these financial audits are almost difficult to comprehend. According to the audits, Ronaldo officially achieved billionaire status in June 2025.
They look more like the balance sheet of a mid-sized corporation than a single human being.
Totally. His total net worth currently sits at an estimated $1.2 billion. And a massive rocket fuel driver for crossing that specific threshold was his contract extension with Saudi Arabia's Al Nassr.
Which is just a colossal deal.
We're looking at a base salary of $224 million per year. But the total two-year package is estimated at $620 million and potentially scales up to $936 million.
Right, when you factor in the commercial bonuses and a 15% ownership stake in the club.
And we have to look at the granularity of those bonuses because the contract stipulates he receives $100,000 just for scoring a single goal.
Which, when you factor in his current relentless pace, that clause alone generates a small fortune every month.
It's insane. Plus the lavish infrastructure built around him, right?
Oh, absolutely. £4 million in private jet access, a 16-person full-time household staff to handle every aspect of his daily life.
So his only focus is training and recovery, but here's where it gets incredibly fascinating, and the financial audits break this math down beautifully.
The tax angle.
Yes. The crucial element of this Saudi contract isn't just the gross number, it's the tax structure. Saudi Arabia has no personal income tax.
0%.
The documents show that earning his $338 million annual take-home in Riyadh is functionally a completely different universe than earning it in Europe.
Oh, without a doubt.
Because to take home that exact same amount in a European country with a standard 45% tax rate, he would need to be grossing around $614 million a year.
It is a phenomenal example of geographic arbitrage. The structural advantage of playing in that specific region acts as a massive multiplier on his wealth.
Wait, let me stop you there. For the listener who isn't like a tax attorney or a hedge fund manager, when you use the word arbitrage here, you essentially mean he's actively exploiting the difference in tax laws between two regions.
Exactly.
Like he's doing it to artificially double his net worth without actually having to play twice as hard on the field. Am I getting that right?
You're getting the exact mechanism, yes. I mean, arbitrage is usually about buying an asset in one market and simultaneously selling it in another at a higher price. Right. Here, the asset is his own labor. By moving the physical location of his labor from Europe to Saudi Arabia, he is capturing a 45% margin that would otherwise just vanish into public tax coffers.
But that makes me want to push back on the core premise of this massive $936 million package.
Okay, let's hear it.
At this point, looking at these numbers, is this contract actually about him playing football? Or is he essentially acting as a highly paid sovereign marketing asset for Saudi Arabia's global ambitions?
That is the critical question.
Because nobody pays almost $1 billion just to win a local league title.
Right, and your pushback is completely justified. The reality is it's undeniably both, but the off-pitch value absolutely dwarfs the on-pitch value.
Okay, so how does that work?
Well, on the pitch, he's still delivering, as the 971 goals clearly prove. But off the pitch, he is the anchor of what the industry calls the Ronaldo effect.
Unpack the Ronaldo effect for us.
So his mere presence in the Saudi Pro League instantly legitimizes it on a global scale. Before him, it was just a regional league. After him, international broadcasters started buying the rights.
Wow, so he literally changed the broadcast map.
Completely. And more importantly, he de-risked the career move for other elite talent.
Yeah.
It's the reason massive stars in their prime, like Karim Benzema and Neymar, felt safe following him there.
That makes total sense. So Saudi Arabia isn't just paying for a striker, they're paying for a global broadcast beacon.
Exactly.
Which perfectly explains why they gave him that 15% equity stake in Nassr. Giving up 15% of a club seems crazy until you realize that owning 85% of a globally relevant, star-studded league is worth vastly more than owning 100% of an invisible one.
Precisely. And that 15% equity stake represents a crucial psychological and financial pivot for him. He has officially transitioned from an employee who earns a wage to an owner who captures the underlying enterprise value he is creating.
And that transition from employee to owner proves something huge, because the Saudi cash is the liquid engine, right? It's the immediate, massive cash flow.
The runaway money, basically.
Right. But looking at the sources, the long-term wealth, the true post-retirement infrastructure he's building for the next 50 years, it lives entirely off the pitch.
This is where we see the actual architecture of the post-football empire.
Right. It lives in digital attention and hard physical real estate. Let's run the numbers on this digital kingdom first, because the scale is absurd.
It really is.
He has unprecedented social leverage. We're talking 670 million Instagram followers. The audits estimate he commands between $2.5 million and $3.5 million for a single sponsored post.
That's per post. Just staggering.
And then there's the recent YouTube explosion. His channel, You Are Cristiano, became the fastest channel in the history of the platform to hit 50 million subscribers.
We really need to pause on that YouTube strategy.
Oh, for sure. It's now sitting at 78 million, generating an estimated $10 million in high-margin revenue.
Because that highlights how different his leverage is compared to a standard creator. A normal YouTuber spends a decade fighting algorithms, slowly building an audience from scratch.
Grinding for every view.
Exactly. Ronaldo bypassed the entire discovery phase. He simply ported a fraction of his existing billion-person global funnel over to a new video platform and instantly created a media property generating $10 million in almost pure profit.
No physical tackles required.
Right. No injuries, no sweat.
It makes me think of a modern tech conglomerate. If you look at how he operates today, his physical play, the actual football matches, is almost just a loss leader.
Oh, that's an interesting way to look at it.
Yeah, like it's the free app that acquires the users, but the real monetization happens once you are trapped in his ecosystem. You buy the Nike shoes from his $1 billion lifetime deal signed in 2016.
Yep, the lifetime deal.
You watch the YouTube channel, you stay at the branded hotels. The football just keeps you in the funnel.
It's a really compelling framework, but I'd argue we need to refine that tech analogy slightly.
Okay, how so?
Unlike a software platform, Ronaldo's free app, his physical body, has a hard, non-negotiable biological expiration date. A tech platform can scale infinitely and exist forever in the cloud. Human hamstrings cannot.
Oh, right. The hamstrings will give out.
Eventually, yes. That biological limit is exactly why the urgency to move his capital into hard, physical assets right now is so extreme.
Which brings us perfectly to the brick-and-mortar kingdom. He isn't just holding this money in the bank. He is aggressively anchoring it in the physical world.
The real estate portfolio is massive.
The audits value his global real estate portfolio at around $150 million.
And the geography of that real estate is just as deliberate as his tax strategy.
Let's look at the two crown jewels. He recently purchased a $30 million mansion on Billionaire Island in Dubai.
The prime location.
And then he has this massive $30 million retirement compound in Cascais, Portugal, which was just completed in 2025. The details on this place are wild.
Oh, I saw the blueprints and the sources.
Right. It features a 30-car subterranean garage and a massive glass-bottom pool. Why divide the primary real estate between those two specific locations?
Because they serve entirely different strategic purposes. Dubai is a wealth shelter and a strategic hub. Holding premium real estate there hedges against inflation and keeps his assets in a highly favorable tax jurisdiction.
While maintaining his proximity to Middle Eastern capital.
Exactly. Cascais, on the other hand, is his cultural and emotional anchor. It's his footprint in his home country. He is building fortresses in the regions that offer either maximum financial leverage or maximum personal legacy.
And we can't forget the hospitality angle. He doesn't just own homes. He has a massive 50-50 partnership in the Pastana CR7 hotel chain.
And notice the structure of that deal. It's a 50-50 partnership, not a licensing fee.
What's the difference there?
Often, athletes just let a company use their name for a flat fee. By taking 50% equity, he's ensuring that as the value of the underlying real estate and the hotel business grows over the next few decades, his net worth grows right along with it.
That's incredibly smart.
It is. When Ronaldo eventually crosses the $2 billion career earnings mark, joining the rarefied air of Michael Jordan and Tiger Woods, it will be precisely because he successfully transformed athletic fame into institutional equity.
So he's engineered the ultimate impenetrable financial safety net for the day his legs finally give out. I want to read this quote directly. He said, "Human beings, we don't want nobody being better than us, but I wish my kids will be better than me. I'm never going to be jealous of him."
That's powerful.
Right. He went on to say that as a father, his only job is to help his son be whatever he wants to be, completely independent of football.
Notice the intense psychological compartmentalization happening in that statement.
What do you mean?
Well, throughout this entire deep dive, we've seen how ruthlessly calculated Ronaldo is in his business, his contract negotiations, and his physical training. As an athlete, his identity demands that he be entirely unrivaled.
Yeah, he has to be the absolute best.
Right. If a peer or a teammate outshines him, it is an existential crisis. It's fuel for him to work harder. But as a father of 5, he is actively trying to dismantle the pressure of his own shadow.
But how do you actually do that? That's the paradox I keep bumping into with these sources.
It's not easy.
How does a man whose entire $1.2 billion empire requires him to be the most competitive, uncompromising guy in every room he enters? How does he just turn off that pathological need to dominate when he looks at his own son?
He accomplishes it by separating Cristiano Ronaldo, the global corporate brand, from Cristiano, the human being.
Okay, that makes sense.
He recognizes that his athletic shadow is heavy enough to crush a child if he applies his competitive ruthlessness to his parenting. By publicly going on the record to state he wants his son to be better than him and explicitly giving him permission to fail or choose a different path, he's trying to ensure his children aren't trapped in a psychological prison built by his own success.
And it seems like he uses philanthropy to build that parallel non-athletic legacy as well.
Very much so.
The sources note his deep commitment to charity, like personally donating $6 million to the victims of the Nepal earthquake. It's almost as if the charitable giving allows him to exercise empathy and connection on a global scale.
Which perfectly counterbalances the selfish ruthlessness required to score 971 professional goals.
Exactly. That's a highly perceptive way to look at it.
Sure.
He is securing a human legacy that isn't measured by a live goal tracker or an Instagram follower count. He is proving that while his wealth is tied to his physical output, his humanity is not.
And honestly, for you listening right now, I think that is the ultimate, incredibly practical lesson hiding inside all these financial audits and retirement rumors.
Yeah, you don't have to be a billionaire athlete chasing a 1,000-goal world record to apply this exact mindset to your own life.
Definitely not.
It is fundamentally about recognizing when one phase of your life or one chapter of your career is inevitably coming to an end, and instead of just passively letting it happen to you, it's about systematically building the leverage, the financial infrastructure, and the personal identity for the next phase before the clock actually runs out.
It is the stark difference between retiring from something and retiring to something. Over 25 years, he has meticulously constructed an entire universe to retire to.
But we want to leave you with one final, slightly provocative thought to mull over today as you go about your week.
Yes. We've spent our time today analyzing exactly how a man prepares his offshore bank accounts, his digital businesses, and his global real estate for the day he finally retires.
Every detail meticulously planned.
We can perfectly map out the 30-car garage in Cascades, the YouTube profit margins, and the Saudi tax arbitrage. But for someone who has lived his entire adult life inside the deafening, adrenaline-fueled roar of a stadium for 25 straight years, what actually happens to the human psyche on that first quiet Monday morning when there was literally no match to train for?
It's a haunting question. You can structure the perfect corporate equity deal. You can map out every single dollar and every single goal, but you simply cannot engineer the silence. Thank you so much for joining us to unpack all of this today. We'll see you on the next deep dive.